Okay, thanks very much, guys. So we're goal giving. We're a fun new way to raise money for charity by linking your donations to the performance of your sports team, to encourage you to raise more money for the cause and to incentivise you with rewards, or money can't buy rewards from our partners. First of all, hands up in this room, any sports fans here? Hopefully. Great. So the vision is basically, imagine that, I'm sure there's a few Norwich fans here as well, imagine your team was to win the title this year. It should be extraordinary. Imagine that, that place you're in, and if I said how much would you donate to charity for that to happen, that would probably be a much bigger sum than you would donate to anything else that comes through your door or your email box this week. It's about how can we capitalise on that moment of euphoria, that passion that we have for our team. So yes, we should all be giving more anyway. We're very fortunate with how we are in the top 1% in the world, but there's something selfish inside us that we need to make it. We need a nudge. We need something to hang it on. So the idea came about. I'm a Spurs fan for my sins, and I was at a match with Ollie and my boy. It was my boy's first match, and I was desperate for Harry Kane to score and cement the Spurs in my boy's mind. And Harry Kane stepped up and scored the winning goal in injury time at the end of a horrible 90 minutes. But the boy doesn't know about that. All he knows is Spurs win and Harry Kane scores. So it's all good. And I was thinking I would be delighted to donate to charity for that to happen. And if that's the case, then who else could be? And if we unlock the fan base, it's easily foreseeable that Harry Kane could raise £1 million for charity every time he scored. And that was how we took the idea forward. So Ollie, I've known here for many years. We've travelled a bit to watch football. This was at the World Cup in Germany in 2006, and we bought a ticket off a tout. He intended to not pay very much, but sure enough, he caught up in the Magic and England in the quarter-final, and we ended up paying way more than we should have done. But the reality was we could afford to do that, but it was the football and the sport that prompted us to pay more and open our wallets. So it's about how can we take that and apply it to raising more money for charity. And the reason is that charities are really struggling. Government funding is down, regular givers are down. There's a lot of charities doing a lot of amazing work, and we don't really know about it or understand it until we need it. So it's how can we find a new way to engage fundraisers and help all these charities hit their goals and do the great work that they do. So that's one of the key problems, obviously, and then it's tying in with the other problems. So sports stars, they want to do good, but they need to train and get to bed early and focus on the football or the cricket, whatever they do best. Attending late night charity dinners doesn't help them. And with the audiences they've got, they can raise a lot more than they do by attending and signing a shirt. Givers, you and I'm sure you get umpteen emails from friends, from charities, things through your door, especially as you come up to Christmas. And you're bored of them, even though there's really powerful emotional messages in there. Something in our brains, we're hardwired with self-interest, and we need something else to engage us and to make it a bit more transactional. Yes, absolutely, we should all give. We can give. We do give, but we can all afford to give a lot more. We're so lucky with what we've all got. And then finally, the brands. People paying a lot of money to sponsor football, other sport. They want to be part of the conversation. It's a noisy place. How do they join in that conversation? How do they engage with sport? Well, if they're providing rewards to incentivise givers, then we've got a nice loop to spur each other on. So that's where we came to goal giving. So we've now got a website where you can sign up and join a campaign and say that I'm prepared to give £1, £5, £10 every time the team wins. I can cap that donation, so I can limit it per game or per month or per year, depending. So I'm being responsible, and the campaign owner can list rewards through partners or the person who's doing it, if they're the star or the club, to incentivise you to give more. And there's a leaderboard as well, so you can track how you're doing, and we can increase the engagement and the banter on social as things grow. And we're very fortunate in that the first pilot we've got, so the first bit of traction we've got is with Leeds United. So the Leeds United Foundation is the official charity of the football club. They run 30 programmes across Leeds, touching 35,000 people from all sectors of society, and making a difference with that Leeds badge to inspire and help people back into employment, get back on track, and particularly young people. But they need money, they need cash, and this was a great way for them to engage their supporters, to tap into the passion of the football club, because the Leeds United fan base are exceptional, and when they the passion when they win is there. So let's say, well, would you spare a few quid for the foundation each time you score? can build on that and grow. So there's a nice quote on the next slide, nice quote from the CEO, Alan, about also the opportunity it gives him to talk to the supporters, because generally when we make a donation, it could be a one-off donation, but there isn't the opportunity for the charities to follow up. And if you've got a relationship where people are giving over the course of a season, there's an opportunity for the charity to build their messages, to learn more about what you do, and ultimately turn the donor into a lifetime giver, which is the real value for the charity, turning one-off donors into lifetime givers, and that makes a big difference to the money that they can bring in. So also on the traction, the key parts for us are the clubs, the charities, and the brands. And so it's great to have Leeds United on board as a very early stage pilot, which is just starting to be pushed out. But we've also had a number of conversations and charities on board, and more recently with brands as well. So we're hitting all those touch points, which is really exciting.
Do all of them.
Yeah.
Cool. So in terms of opportunity, the market size, £73 billion was the UK market for charitable giving in 2016. If you just take 0.1% of that, that's over £70 million of fundraising. So you can see that even just to capture a small amount, let alone grow it, which is what we want to do, then that's significant. In the UK, there's 168,000 registered charities. So again, it's a great way to help them raise their cash and get to them and improve their fundraising. 31% of people gave money to charity over the last four weeks, and that average spending was around £45 during that month. So that's a significant amount of money, and people do give regularly in different ways, but we want to try and up and improve that. And then finally, there's 17,500 sports stars in the UK. So multiple people to go and try and activate and try and help them show and develop their brand. We've also seen significant appetite for linking performance in different ways. In football, great one, Paddy Power at the World Cup donated £10,000 to LGBT charities for every goal that Russia scored. With quite a fun, tongue-in-cheek approach to do that. Nathan Redmond here, he's donated £1,000 every time he scores, every time he makes an assist, which Southampton fans perhaps wish he would do a few more of. Down the bottom, Mick Jagger gave money at the last Ashes in the UK, in England, whenever we took wickets, but he also gave £100,000 to charity, Chance to Shine, when in Alistair Cook's last test, if he made 100, which we all know he did do. So significant things we've seen. In terms of our business model, so it's very much like any other fundraising model. So whether that be Just Giving or GoFundMe, we take essentially a cut of the money that's raised. Now, Just Giving and some of those made scale have changed that model slightly, but we're starting with a more traditional model where we take 5% of every transaction. There are other routes to funding as well. So again, a common way for those fundraising support for charities is to give an admin fee to those charities. We're not starting with that, but that's something that could come in further down the line. Similarly, monetizing data and supporting marketing campaigns for the brands are ways to raise cash. And in fact, on that marketing one, interestingly, one of the conversations we're having with a major global brand is talking about that already, and that they may even start to pay for some of our development fees. So it's really, really encouraging. The go-to-market strategy, I think, is something that sort of sparks a lot of interest, because most B2C companies spend a hell of a lot of money on acquisition of their customers. But while we are B2C, predominantly the way we go to market is B2B2C. So we've got clubs, charities, brands and agents who essentially own the star or the players that create the excitement and create the result. So we use their social following, their communication streams, which in the case of Leeds is 500,000, in the case of Man United is 20 million. So you can see immediately we get to a lot of eyeballs very quickly, rather than having to try and generate 20 million eyeballs through marketing. How will we succeed? The three main differences that we think compared to some other charity fundraising things: focus on sport. No one has that sort of niche, bespoke, sort of targeted area. We think that specialism is really important. Star acquisition, so we've got a good pipeline of routes through those four routes at the bottom. And then the fact that there's rewarding components, so that you get closer to that star or closer to that club. So if they can offer that up, or the brand can offer that up, it gives you a reward for tipping over certain giving levels. this is probably something to be shared afterwards, but this is in terms of who we are. Andy talked about myself and himself. Andy's been a sports journalist, been a marketeer, been a PR consultant. He's written his own book around sport. He won't say any of this himself, of course. He's been a lawyer. It's pretty much nothing this man can't do. My background, I've been a strategy consultant and big four consultancy firm for 15 years, 12 to 15 years. We've also got a number of mentors and support people who can come around, so tech startups, sports advisor and investment advisors who have all got incredible pedigree and background. We're very, very confident that we've got some great people around us. No doubt we are also picking more up as well. So finally, what would you do? If you could pick your charity, you could pick your sport, you could pick your metric, what would you do? Come and join us at Goal Giving.
Cool.
Thank you very much.